Now in the flyweight division, we had a show. Championship fight, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, the rematch. And man, I was excited about this fight. Obviously, big Deiveson fan. I just love his game. I love how he's always ready to go. And he's a high volume striker. You know, he fights like the traditional Brazilian guys fight. I just love watching him work. But obviously, Brandon Moreno, a guy who I took the fight the first time on short notice, we knew he was game. Him being a Mexican fighter, you know what their culture stands for in the fight game, and those guys are always ready to go to war. And that first fight between those guys was so highly competitive and so back and forth that it ultimately ended in a draw. So now we got the rematch. And man, I gotta say, tip of the cap to Brandon Moreno. First off, with him, man, I just thought that he was the more confident fighter, the more aggressive fighter throughout the whole fight from start to finish. Now, it didn't go longer than 3 rounds, but seeing from the beginning, Brandon being the guy that was leading the dance on his feet. Brandon was the guy that was throwing first. Brandon was the guy who was being aggressive in the clinch and ultimately being more aggressive on the ground as well. Whereas with Deiveson, he was just super calculated earlier. He wasn't throwing nowhere near the amount that we're accustomed to seeing with him, nor was it matching the output from Brandon. And honestly, Brandon was getting the better of Deiveson while they were standing on the feet. So that part was very surprising because we all thought that Deiveson would have the advantage on this when he's standing up just because of how dynamic of a striker he is. But Brandon looked like he could hurt him when he wanted to, and he ultimately set him down with his jab. And that part was just like, whoa, okay, like this is a different fight this go around. And then to see Brandon still be able to take that over into the second and third round and just be the more physical fighter. And ultimately, in the fight on the ground, submitting Deiveson Figueiredo, like, where does that happen? We don't see that ever. Rear naked choke. I mean, it was beautiful. The patience that Brandon had when he was on the ground, understanding what he was trying to get this whole time in terms of working his arm underneath Deiveson's neck to secure the choke. But it was just beautiful to see that type of, just sticking to your game plan, being patient versus a champion, a guy that we hadn't seen get beat in a while. I mean, Davis has been on a run here. And then to see the raw emotion after the fight, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful scene. That's one of the things I love about UFC, man. When you're seeing some of these guys become champion for the first time. I mean, in Brandon's case, the first Mexican-born UFC champion, which is, I mean, it's crazy when you think about how many great Mexican fighters have fought a part of the UFC. But to see that emotion, and then obviously Deiveson, man, the ultimate professional. He's carrying him in the ring, patting him on the back, very celebratory of him, very respectful of him. That was just a beautiful sight. That's what mixed martial arts is all about. You can win, you can lose, but man, do it with class, be a professional, and just show that sportsmanship. And man, I just thought that both of those guys did that. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm excited. I can see them running it back. I'm cool with them doing it for a third time, just because the first fight was so competitive. This second fight was competitive as well. Just Brandon looked like the hungrier fighter. Brandon looked like he was fighting to take the belt, whereas Deiveson just kind of looked like he was fighting to not lose, if that makes sense. He just didn't seem as aggressive. Now, I don't know if it was because of potentially him gassing the first time they fought, or if he just had more respect for Brandon's power this go around, but he just did not look the same as we've seen him in prior fights. But either way, it was Brandon's night. Brandon just looked good, like I said, from start to finish. I mean, even his physique, he looked good. So for me, man, I could see them running it back a third time, and I would definitely tune in for that. Also, Triple C. The former Triple C, Henry Cejudo was in attendance, sitting ringside, and he obviously, they got people questioning, like, all right, could we see a return, Henry Cejudo versus Brandon Moreno? I would love that as well. We know it was sell. We know it would be an exciting fight. And let's be real, Henry definitely retired a little bit too soon, man. We know he has some more that he could be doing out here in this ring, but he obviously was the Triple C at the time, so you had to respect what he wanted to do. But hopefully now he's willing to hop back in that ring that octagon, because I would love to see him versus Brandon Moreno. I could go ahead and see him versus Deiveson Figueiredo again. Like, I need all that. I want all that action right there. So we'll see how that thing plays out. But let me know what y'all want to see with Brandon, man. Should Brandon go ahead and run it back for that trilogy fight with Deiveson Figueiredo? Or should he go ahead and, try to talk Triple C, Henry Cejudo out of retirement. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.